पर्यन्ताम् वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम् वसुदेवसुतं देवम् कंसचाणूरमर्दनम् देवकी परमानन्दम् कृष्णम् वन्दे जगद्गुरुम्. With the abundant blessings of our Acharya Swamiji, we are continuing with our study of Srimad Bhagavad Gita together with the commentary of Sri Adi Shankara Bhagavad Pada. We are in chapter 13, shloka number 19. Kshetra Kshetrajna Vibhaga Yogaha. The distinction between Kshetra and Kshetrajna. In some, we have seen that Kshetra refers to body and everything connected with the body, including the mind, etc. And Kshetrajna is nothing but Paramatma, none other than Paramatma, who appears to have associated himself with Kshetra, with the body. This is how we have studied so far. Now, the same thoughts are being continued in sloka number 19. Prakritim purusham chaiva vidhyanaadi ubhavapi vikaranshcha gunanshchaiva vidhi prakriti sambhavan. Prakritim purusham chaiva ubhavapi anadi vidhi. Anadi, ubhavapi anadi vidhi. Understand that both these, ubhav means both. Understand that both these have no beginning or beginningless, which both Prakriti as well as Purusha. Prakriti refers to Trigunatmika Maya, the creation, the power behind the creation, consisting of Sattva, Rajas, Tamo Gunas. That power, which is inseparable from Purusha, that is called Prakriti. And Purusha is Paramatma himself. So, Kshetra and Kshetrajna are terms associated with an individual. Prakriti and Purusha are terms associated with the universe. But because it is the universe, here Prakriti refers to the cause of creation. Whereas in the case of individual, Kshetra refers to the individual body, individual mind, etc., etc. But the concept is same. This derives from that. So he has now gone back to the original concept. And because the idea is to reach Paramatma, so we have to understand thoroughly who is Paramatma and what is his relation to us. That is the question which we have to keep meditating upon. So he says, both these, the Maya Shakti as well as Paramatma, are beginningless. What does that mean? It means creation will go on and on. There was never a beginning. It was there all the time. Creation, sustenance, destruction, this process will keep going on. Jantus, living beings, will keep coming and going. There is no stopping that. This will never end because this never had a beginning. Paramatma is of course beginningless. Paramatma is of course ananta, endless. Now, whatever we are now observing in this universe, all this to be associated only with Prakriti. Vikaranscha gunanschaiva vidhe Prakriti sambhavan. All transformations, all changes, vikaras, gunaha, sattva, rajas, tamo gunas, in whatever form they express themselves. It may be tamo guna expressing itself in the form of a lion's roar. It may be sattva guna expressing itself in the compassionate eyes of a saint. But all this, as long as it is a guna, whether it is a sattva guna, whether it is a rajo guna, whether it is a tamo guna, it is not to be associated with Purusha Paramatma. All of them, Prakriti Sambhavan Vidhi, understand, know that they have originated from Prakriti, from Maya. What is Maya? Ya Ma, that which does not exist, but it appears to exist, the very definition of Maya. So, all these transformations, all the gunas which keep changing, there is no guna which is constant. Even devas who are known to have excelled in sattva guna are found to deviate from that path. Humans, of course, are a mix of sattva, rajo, and tamo guna. So there is no constancy in humans. And animals, no. Asuras, they are all known for tamo gunas. That is obvious. But are they always in tamo gunas? Cow is supposed to be a sattvic animal. So this keeps changing. That is what he says, vikara. There is a constant change. The only thing which is constant is not being constant, inconstancy. So vikaranscha gunascha, where both of these quality of transformation and the basic characteristics, sattva, tamo gunas, all of them are known to originate only from Maya. What does it mean? It has nothing to do with Purusha. That is why Vidhi Prakriti Sambhavam. So, Buddhyadi Dehendriyantan Gunancha. That is, all gunas which keep appearing in the form of Buddhi. Buddhyadi Deha Indriyantan. Starting from Buddhi, Deha, Indriya, etc. Sukha Dukkha Moha Pratyayagara Parinatan. All these vikaras, take the shape of sukha, dukkha, moha, etc. All of them are prakriti sambhava. Karyakarana kartrutve hetu prakriti ruchyate purusha sukha dukkham bhoktrutve hetu ruchyate. Now he is going one step further and Bhagavan is explaining what is the role of prakriti and what is the role of purusha as far as the individual is concerned. As far as the individual is concerned, what is prakriti doing and what is purusha doing? Let us start with prakriti. Karya karana kartrutve prakritihi hetuhu iti uchyate. Hetu means cause. Prakriti is known to be the cause of what? Karya karana kartrutve. In being the cause of action and being the cause of instruments of action. Karanas are instruments. The indriyas, jnanendriyas, karmendriyas, all of them come under the category of karanas because it is through them that action takes place. Even jnanendriya is also an action, isn't it? Because you see with the help of the eye. So seeing is an action. So all of them are actions. So these actions are performed through karanas. Or it can also be taken as karya as the body and karana as the indriyas. Either way, both ways. All of them are to be associated with only prakriti. That means purusha has nothing to do with karya and karana, with the body, with the sense organs, with the actions that you do with your body, including the mind, etc., etc., etc. Then what is the role of Purusha? Purusha sukha dukkhanam bhoktrutve heturuchyate. He is the cause of what? Bhoktrutve, of enjoyment. He is the cause of enjoyment of sukha and dukkha. That means, if the body were left alone, without Purusha, does it have any life? What gives life to the body? Purusha. A dead body is not going to understand sukha and dukkha. It's not going to experience. So, Purusha makes the body. This is a very important distinction. Because in the next slokas also this point is going to come again and again. Purusha is the cause of our experiencing sukha and dukkha, pleasure and pain. But he is not associated with, that is going to be explained in the next sloka. He is not to be associated with sukha and dukkha. This is not a contradiction. He is the cause of experience of sukha and dukkha, but he is not to be associated. Why? Because it is the mind. He gives the experiencing ability to the mind. So it is the mind which experiences sukha and dukkha and not Purusha or Kshetrajna. He is not Atma. He is whatever name you call him. He is not enjoying, experiencing any sukha or dukkha. That is why we want to reach him. Because we want to go beyond sukha and dukkha. That is the reason why we want to reach Atma or Paramatma or Kshetrajna, whatever way you call it. Because if he is also going to go through sukha and dukkha, why to go? Better to continue in the state in which we are. What is the difference then? The difference is he does not go through any sukha and dukkha, but he appears to go through sukha and dukkha because we associate him with the mind. The distinction between the mind and Atma is completely lost upon us. That is our issue. That is why he is making it clear. गुणाश्च प्रकृतिसम्भवाः सुखदुःखमोहात्मकाः करणाश्रयत्वात् करणग्रहणेन गृह्यन्ते. When he says karana, Shankara explains that all that is done by the Prakriti, Sukha, Dukkha, Moha, etc., also to be included in Karana. That is what he is explaining. Karana is not just an instrument, but the experience which goes through that instrument. Experience goes through that instrument because Sukha and Dukkha come to us through sense organs, isn't it? So it goes through that instrument, but it is experienced by the mind, and we assume that it is the Atma which is experiencing. एवं कार्यकरणकर्तृत्वेन संसारस्य कारणं प्रकृतिः. It is the Maya Prakriti which causes all this karya and karana. सुखदुःखभोगः संसारः. पुरुषस्य सुखदुःखानां संभोक्तृत्वं संसारित्वम् इति. Shankara explains further. What we call samsara. What is samsara? Moving from birth to birth. Birth and death is samsara. What do we do during this birth and death process? We constantly experience sukha and dukkha. Sukha dukkha bhogaha samsaraha. But we assume that it is Purusha who is enjoying this. Surushasya sukha dukkhanam sambhoktritvam samsaritvam iti. As long as you are a samsari, you will keep making this mistake. Because you have to dissociate yourself from samsara, then you will not make this mistake. This is going to be explained further in the remaining slokas. Prakritim purusham chaiva vidyanaadi ubhavapi vikaraschcha gunaschaiva vidhi prakriti sambhavan karya karana kartrutve metu prakriti richyate purusha sukha dukkhanam bhoktrutve heturuchyate. पुरुष प्रकृतिस्थो हि भुंक्ते प्रकृतिजान् गुणान् कारणं गुणसंगोस्य सदसद्योनिजन्मसु. Now we are saying Purusha is appearing to experience. That's what we said, isn't it? Why? Why he is appearing to experience? That he is explaining now. Purushaha prakritisthaha hi bhunte prakritijan gunam. He is making it absolutely clear. Guna is not from Purusha, it is from Prakriti. Prakritijan guna, Sattva Rajas Tamo gunas, in which we constantly find ourselves, they are being experienced, bhunte, by Purusha. That is the appearance. Why it is appearance? That is why he is hastening to add Prakriti Sthaha. If he is not to be in the body, if we don't associate him with the body, he is not experiencing any sukha and dukkha. If we think Paramatma is an entity who is not associated with this body, then no problem. He is no sukha dukkha. But as long as we think that Paramatma is in the body, experiencing sukha and dukkha, which is our avidya, that is because of appearance. Prakriti sthatha. He appears to be in Prakriti. That is an appearance. प्रकृतौ अविद्यालक्षणायां कार्यकरणरूपेण परिणतायां स्थितः प्रकृतिस्थः. The very characteristic of Prakriti is avidya. Very avidya lakshanaya. And it converts itself into karya karana. प्रकृतिजान गुणान सुख दुख मोहाकाराभिव्यक्तान गुणान सुखी दुखी मूढ़ः पंडितः अहम इत्येवम्. I am a scholar, I am a fool, I am experiencing pain, I am experiencing pleasure. This is what we constantly keep saying. It is because of our attaching Purusha with Prakriti. That is because of avidya. He is quoting from Brihadaranyaka Upanishad. Yatha kamo bhavati tat kratur bhavati. One who keeps constantly desiring for something, he happens to do action in accordance with the desire. Desire prompts his action. That is why he is saying, Karanam gunasangosya sadasadyo nijammasu. Why this Purusha is appearing to be associated with Prakriti? Because that he has been doing for many, many ages, crores of births. Gunasangaha asya karanam sata asat yoni janmasu. Why he is appearing to experience gunas? Because, or sukha and dukkha, because he is associating himself, that is, Purusha is associating himself with gunas. Gunasangaha asya. Gunasangaha tasya parivarjanaya uchyate. That we have to keep aside, that we have to get rid of. That is why he is bringing that to our attention. Asya gunasangaha, the association of Purusha with gunas. Where he got associated? Are countless births. Sat, asat, yoni janmasu. Sat means good, asat means evil in this context. Sat and asat have got different meanings in different contexts we have seen before. In this context, Sadyonayaha, Devadiyonayaha, good births are Devas, etc. Asadyonayaha, Pashvadiyonayaha, evil births are animals, etc. Humans are mix of both Sat and Asat, Deva and Pashu. So, we have been going through the cycle of births of Devas, of Pashus, of humans, etc., etc., crores of births. So, in all those births, Purusha we have associated with gunas, which are generating from Prakriti. Karanam, this is the reason. Which is the reason? Gunasanga is the reason. Because Purusha appears to be associated with the gunas, and that practice we have practiced over crores of janmas. He is appearing today also. Now, why he is appearing in our present human birth? Purusha is appearing to be experiencing sukha and dukkha. This is the reason. We have made that practice for crores of anything you make a practice for 1 month, you are not able to get it off in the second month. If that is the case with practice over a short time, practice is done over crores of births. Those impressions are being carried forward in every birth. That is avidya. Now, here, Shankara is making a beautiful point. He says, in the first part of this chapter, only Kshetrajna and Jnana were being described. All concentration was on Paramatma, Jnana, etc. Now, these passages are coming down to our level where we are superimposing. He is using the word superimposing. We are superimposing. Uktam cha anyapohena atad dharmadhyaropanena cha aropana. We are superimposing. We are now superimposing on attributes of Prakriti on Purusha. That we have been doing again and again. There is a text called Drik Drishya Viveka, assumed to have been written by Adi Shankara. That is, Drik is the seer, one who sees. Drishya is what is being seen. What is the jnana that we are going to derive by using this basis? Now he is explaining that. Rupam Drishyam Lochanam Drik Tadrishyam Driktu Manasam. Let us start with what we see with our eyes. What we see with our eyes is rupa, form, isn't it? We see the form of a table. We see the form of a mobile. We see the form of a man. So all this is rupam. So that is what is being seen. Who is seeing this? Lochanam Drik. The eye is the seer. Eye is the seer. What is being seen is the object. Tad drishyam driktu manasam. Who is the seer for the eye? Manas, mind is the seer for the eye. It is the mind which becomes the seer, and eye becomes the seen object. Then, drikshati vrittayat sakshi drigeva natu drishyate. Then, the mental modes, dhivrittayaha, because mind is never constant, it keeps changing. At one time, what it saw with the eyes was pleasant. At another time, the same sight becomes unpleasant. So it keeps changing. That is dhivrittayaha, the modes of the mind. That is become now a seen object. What was the seer has now become seen. It goes step by step. The eye was the seer, object was the seen object. Then mind is the seer, eye is the seen object. Now mind has become the seen object. Who is the seer? Atma. Sakshi Drigeva Natu Drishyate. Atma is the seer because Atma keeps constant. That is why he is Sakshi. Atma keeps constantly seeing the mind. In fact, it is the reflected light of Atma, which is the power behind the mind functioning that we have seen. Otherwise, mind is a dead body. So, dead entity. So, who is the seer now? Atma is the seer. Now, who is seeing that Atma? There is nobody because he is the cause of everything. Sakshi, Drigeva, that is Sakshi, that is Atma. Atma is the seer. Natu drishyate, he never becomes an object to be seen. That is why Vedanta constantly teaches us that you can never see Atma. You can only experience Atma. Because we are used to seeing objects, all objects, mentally at least. Mentally at least, we see an object and then we develop likes and dislikes, mentally at least. So our habit is to see. I want to see Atma also in the same way. No, it is not possible because he is the seer. The power of seeing which you are using is coming from him. So how can the seer be seen? This is the basic concept of Vedanta, which has come up in this shloka in a different form. Karanam gunasangaha asya sat asat yoni janmasu. Because of association with gunas, he appears to be the experiencer, though he is not. Just as we cannot see him, he is not also not experiencing. That is the idea. I picked up Niti Shatakam Shloka here. How we associate ourselves with guna and reap dukkha. Daurmantryan Drapatir Vinashyati Eti Sangat Suto Lalanat Vipro Anadhyayanat Pulam Kutanayat Shilam Khalopasanat Maitrita Pranayat Samriddhiranayat Sneha Prabhasashayat Garvat Anavekshanaadapi Krishyatyagat Pramadad Dhanam. How various persons meet destruction. That is the subject of this sloka. Daurmantriyan Nripatir Vinashyati. A king meets destruction because of bad, evil counselors, ministers. Yati Sangat, a sannyasi meets destruction because of his association with samsara. Suto Lalanat, a son becomes bad because of extraordinary love showered on him. Lalanat. Parents should not shower extraordinary love. They should also keep control on the son. Then only he will grow up with the right morals. Suto Lalanat, Vipraha Anadhyayanat. A Brahmana is known only for his knowledge of Vedas. And if he doesn't study Vedas, if he doesn't keep himself abreast of Vedic knowledge, he is no longer a Brahmana. Kulam Kutanayat. We always say that person is from an extraordinarily good family. Kula. What is good family? Because the family has earned that name by virtue of the qualities which that family has shown over several generations. Now, if your son suddenly becomes an evil character, he will destroy the entire fame of the family. Kulam kutanayate, shilam khalopasanate. A man has got very good conduct. Suddenly he falls into evil company. What will happen? All his conduct will go. Khala upasanat shilam. Maitri cha pranayat. You always claim that I have very good friends. Those friends are always there to help me. But that will continue only if you nurture the friendship. If you don't nurture the friendship, if you don't do anything, you don't call him, you don't meet him, you don't inquire about his welfare, then he is not going to come to you at the right time. Maitri cha pranayat, apranayat means lack of love. Samriddhihi anayat, you are prosperous. All your prosperity will go if you follow a bad policy. For maintaining prosperity, good policy is required. Sneha pravasa strayat. You have good family, good friends here. Now suddenly you go abroad, you leave them here. What will happen? You don't come for 5 years. What will happen? Sneha pravasa strayat. When you lose contact, when you go to another country, the love will also get deteriorated. Sri Garvat, a woman loses herself by arrogance. Anavekshanaadapi krishihi, agriculture. Agriculture requires constant care, constant maintenance, constant observation. Avekshana is observation. Anavekshanat, if you don't maintain, if you don't shower proper care, agriculture will get destroyed. Tyaga, pramada, dhanam. Ultimately, he finishes with wealth. Wealth will get destroyed by not taking care, by not preserving it. Tyagat means you lose money on unnecessary expenditure. Pramadat, that happens because of negligence. You neglect dharma, you happen to spend money on adharma. So be careful. This is how Bhartahari is teaching us. So all this is what? Gunasangaha. We experience pleasure and pain. Pain is destruction here. Everywhere we kept on meeting with loss, destruction. Why? Gunasangaha. Because we fell into evil habit. Daurmantriyan Nripatir Vinashyati Sangat Suto Lalanat Vipro Anadhyayanat Kulam Kutanayat Shilam Khalovasanat Maitri cha pranayat samriddhiranayat sneha pravasashrayat Sri Garvad Anavekshanaadapi Krishyatyagat Pramadad Dhanam. Next, Upadrashta Anumanta cha Bharta Bhokta Maheshwaraha Paramatmeti cha Pyukto Dehesmin Purusha Paraha. Now, this Purusha when he is associated with the body, we say that he appears to experience sukha and dukkha, isn't it? Why don't we keep him out of this? We know that it is the mind which is keeping. We can reason it out. He has nothing to do with this. He only gives us the power to experience. He is not the experiencer. It's a very simple logic. Why don't we do that? The reason is this. Upadrashta Anumanta cha Bharta Bhokta Maheshwaraha. He is Maheshwara, no doubt. Why he is Maheshwara? Now, let us see what Shankara explains. Sarvatmatvat Swatantratvat Mahasya Asau Ishwarasya iti Maheshwaraha. Sarvatmatvat. He is the Atma in every living being. So has to be Maheshwara. If he was the Ishvara for only one body, he will remain Ishvara for that body. Because he is the Ishvara in all bodies, so he is Maheshwara. Swatantratvacha, he is independent. He is not dependent on the body or anything. He is not dependent on his power of Maya. So Swatantratvacha, so he is Maheshwara. Paramatma, why he is Paramatma? It is enough if you say Atma. Why we are using the term Paramatma? That is because of our ignorance. Because we constantly associate Atma with body, we have to conceive of another Paramatma who is beyond this Atma. Actually, there are no two, only one Atma is there. Beautifully, Shankara explains. Dehadinam buddhantanam pratyagatmatvera parikalpitanam avidyaya. Because of avidya, we think that there is one Atma associated with our body, our buddhi, etc., etc. Pratyagatma, we call him Pratyagatma. Pratyagatma means Atma residing inside our body. So we think that he is different from that Parama. Paramaha upadrashtatva lakshanaha Atma iti Paramatma. So we have to think of another Atma, another Paramatma who is higher. Purusha Paraha. Paraha means higher. Higher Purusha. We have to think of another higher. He is also called Paramatma. Paramatma iti cha api uktaha asmin dehe Purushaha Paraha. He is there in the same body, same Paramatma, lives, shines in this same body, asmin dehe, in this body. Okay, now why we got confused? Now he is giving that explanation. Upadrashta Anumanta cha Bharta Bhokta Maheshwaraha. He is giving four activities which we associate Paramatma with. He is not connected with any activity. He is beyond all activities. But we make that mistake due to avidya, as Shankara explained. Upadrashta, we think that he is the one who is constantly watching our activities. Upadrashta is one who is constantly watching. We think that is our, because it is the mind actually which has the power to what? Watch itself. Mind keeps changing, but there is a power of the mind which can watch itself, isn't it? But we don't use that power. Samipastha sanna drashta swayam avyapratah. He does not change, but he keeps watching. That is what we think he is doing, which is correct also. Upadrashta Anumanta, now comes the trouble. If he had stopped with Upadrashta, maybe the trouble was not serious. Sakshi, he is a witness. He is the one who permits our activities. Anumanta means one who gives anumati, one who gives permission. He is the one who is giving permission for all that. Anumodanam, anumananam, kurvatsu, tatkriyasu paritosha, tatkarta, anumanta. So when we think that he is the one who gives permission, we assume that he becomes happy if we do good things. Tatkriyasu paritosha. He becomes satisfied, happy if we do good things. So similarly, if we do bad things, he will become unhappy. We don't want to think about it. That is why he is not talking about the second part. Anumanta cha. Bharta, Bhokta. Bharta is, he is supporting. He is the supporter. That is, all the body functions, all the sense organs function, the mind, the buddhi, etc., function because of inherent power. Who is giving that inherent power? Bharta means one who supports by giving food, by giving sustenance. One who sustains is Bharta. That is why a husband is known as Bharta in Sanskrit. Bharta, Patni. Wife is known as Patni, husband is known as Bharta, but he is supposed to support the family. He is supposed to work, earn money, and support the wife and children. That is why he is known as Bharta. So here Bhagavan is Bharta as far as the individual is concerned, because we assume correctly that he is the power behind us. But if we stop with that, it would have been fine. Even Upadrashta, Anumanta, and Bharta were not as bad. Anumanta is a little difficult, but Upadrashta and Bharta are not so negative. But problem comes with Bhokta. Bhokta is experiencer, enjoyer. We think that whenever we experience any sukha, any dukkha, we think that it is the Atma who is experiencing, Bhokta, enjoyer. अदृष्णवत् नित्य चैतन्य स्वरूपेण बुद्धेः सुखदुःखमोहात्मकाः प्रत्ययाः सर्वविषय विषयाः चैतन्यात्मग्रस्ताः इव as if जायमानाः विभक्ताः विभाव्यन्ते इति भोक्ता आत्मा उच्यते. अग्नि उष्णवत्, that is, if you keep an iron inside fire, the fire becomes red hot. Fire looks like Agni. Like that, Atma being continuously associated with the mind, we think the Atma is experiencing, like that piece of iron. Nitya Chaitanya Swarupena, because it is always giving that consciousness, power of light, power of consciousness, always, constantly. So whatever sukha, dukkha, moha or experienced by buddhi, buddhehe sukha dukkha moha atmakaha pratyayaha, sarva vishaya vishayaha, all matters concerning that. Chaitanyatmagrastaha iva jayamanaha. We assume that they are all connected with Chaitanya. Without Chaitanya, how will I experience pain? That is our reasoning, which is foolish. Because it is the reflected Chaitanya of the mind which is experiencing and not the original Chaitanya of Bhagavan. So that is the problem. So problem he has now analyzed and given us. So that we will get over that. Why to understand all this? So that we get over that. पुरुष प्रकृतिस्थो हि भुङ्क्ते प्रकृतिजान् गुणान् कारणं गुणसङ्गोऽस्य सदसद्योनिजन्मसु उपद्रष्टानुमन्ता च भर्ता भोक्ता महेश्वरः परमात्मेति चाप्युक्तो देहेऽस्मिन् पुरुषः परः. एवं वेत्ति पुरुषं प्रकृतिं च गुणैः सह सर्वथा वर्तमानोऽपि न स भूयोऽभिजायते. Now he is giving a conclusive statement to all this analysis. He says, whatever I have said so far, if you have understood, you will not be reborn. Look at the bold statement which Bhagavan is making. If you have understood whatever I have told you so far, you will not have to undergo rebirth. Yaha evam purusham prakritim cha gunais saha vetti. One, in this manner, evam, in this manner, vetti has understood Purusha and Prakriti along with the gunas, gunais saha. Whatever I have told you regarding Purusha, Prakriti, gunas, etc. If you have understood, Sarvatha Vartamanaha api, you may be in any condition. Sarvatha Vartamanaha. Vartamanaha is being in a condition. Sarvatha in any condition, in all conditions. Wherever you are, in whichever condition you are, Nasa Bhuyaha Abhijayate, you will not be reborn again. Look at the bold statement which Bhagavan is making. Now, Gunaihi avidya lakshanam gunaihi swavikaraihi tah nivartitam abhavam apaditam vidyaya. Now, Shankara is analyzing this statement. When he said gunas are because of avidya. Now, by getting proper vidya, I have understood guna does not belong to me. Guna is alien to me. I have understood that. That is why guna has come here. Similarly, Prakriti, Purusha, etc., I have understood the roles properly. Purusham I have understood as Atma Bhavena. I am Aham Asmi. I am that Atma. I have understood Purusha like that. Prakritim cha yathoktam avidya lakshanam gunaihi swavikaraihi. Prakriti is to be associated always with gunas which have nothing to do with Atma, which have nothing to do with me. With me, that is important. With me, because I am Atma. So if you have got this knowledge, well, that is the height of the knowledge, that is the peak of the knowledge. What is there more to be understood? What is there more to be ingrained? So he says, Patite asmin vidvat sharire, because you have become a vidwan. So once your body drops, dehantaraya na abhijayate, it does not go to another body. Now, this creates a lot of controversy. So Bhagavan, Shankara raises all the controversy in detail and he goes into giving replies. Now let us understand in brief what he is talking about. The main objection is to this statement is, well, you have attained jnana, so you will not be reborn, you are saying. Okay. You have attained jnana and that way you have burnt all the karmas which you have done after attaining jnana. That stands to logic. This is the objection of the logician. The logician objects to this statement of Bhagavan. He says, how can jnana obliterate karmas which I have done before attaining jnana? One. How can it obliterate karmas which I have performed in my crores of previous births for which this body is the effect? So all that mass of karmas, how can it go? Unless karmas go away, you cannot avoid rebirth. That is understood, accepted by everyone. So you are saying that all karmas have gone. Jnanadni dagdha karmanam, he said. And there also this meaning was given, this explanation was given, that karma refers to all karmas, except only one karma, that is prarabdha karma, for which Shankara gives a very detailed explanation. Why prarabdha karma is not burnt away, all other karmas are burnt away, for which he gives supporting quotations from Vedas, Upanishads, Shastras, etc. He is giving. He is giving, for example, from Mahabharata. Bejan yajnapadadhani narohanti yatha punaha jnanadagdhaistasa kleshaihi natma sampadhyate punaha. Just as seeds, once you fry in fire, they cannot grow into a plant or a tree. You take a heap of seeds, fry them in fire. Will they, and then you again sow them in the land. Will they grow into plant or tree? No, because it has lost its ability. Similarly, all the karmas are burnt in the fire of Agni, in the fire of knowledge. So, jnana dagdha is tatha kleshaihi atmadam padyate punaha. So, lot of citations he is making. Shriyante chasya karmani tasmin drishte parabare. Very important statement from Mundakopanishad. Once you have experienced the Atma as your own, I am Atma, I am not this body. Once you have done that, Shriyante chasya karmani, all your karmas have gone. Upanishad gives this statement. So why will not Bhagavan make this statement? Will he make a statement different from the Upanishad? No. So like this, he is quoting a lot. Now, why prarabdha karma is not obliterated? That also he is answering. He is giving very famous parallel, which he has given in so many texts, so many Prakarana Granthas also he has given this example because this is the best example for understanding. An archer has got a bow and arrow in his hand. The arrow is strung to the bow, and then he dispatches that arrow towards the object. Once the arrow has left the bow, does he have any control over that? Once the arrow has left the bow of the archer, he has absolutely no control over the arrow. It will go and strike the object. No doubt about it. Similarly, the karma which started this body, which is prarabdha karma, that is why it's called prarabdha, the karma which started the body, which is the cause of this body. That is the karma, which is the genesis of this body. So that is like an arrow. So the body has come into being. In fact, you have used that body to get this knowledge. That is another story. But that body came into being because of a certain karma. And that karma cannot exhaust itself unless you exhaust the body, because body came from that. So till the body drops, prarabdha karma will continue. That is why even saints like Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, like Ramana Maharshi, experience terrible suffering because of sickness of the body. Long after they were known as, proclaimed as great jnanis, till the end. This is the reason for it. Now, the same archer has got many, many arrows in his quiver. Same archer has got many, many arrows in his quiver. He uses them one by one. So we talked about one arrow which has gone and struck the target. What about other arrows? Other arrows he will never use. Other arrows have all been taken away from him. Other arrows have all been taken away from him. He has been deprived of all those arrows. That is the other karmas. This is the explanation given by Shankara very beautifully. Now, all this is to answer certain objections of those who object. So, the simple answer is prarabdha karma, which was the starting point of the body, you have to experience. But all other karma, which you have done during this birth, as well as in all the crores of previous births, have all been extinguished. So, no more rebirth for you. That is what Bhagavan is saying. ध्यानेन आत्मनि पश्यन्ति केचिद् आत्मानमात्मना अन्ये सांख्येन योगेन कर्मयोगेन चापरे. Now he is summarizing what he has told us again and again in previous chapters, how we should get out of this avidya. We know all about this avidya, how it is going on, troubling us. How to get out of this, how to get the experience, I am Atma. How to get that? ध्यानेन आत्मनि पश्यन्ति केचित् आत्मानम् आत्मना. Atmanam kechiti pashyanti. Some people are able to see the Atma. Kechiti Atmanam pashyanti. Some people are able to see the Atma. How? Atmana. With the same Atma. There is no external help required for seeing Atma. How to do that? Dhyanena, in meditation. Now, although all these things have been covered in earlier chapters, Shankara, look at Shankara. He never tires himself of repeating and emphasizing. Now he is as if he is talking for the first time. He is explaining what is dhyana. Dhyanam nama shabdadibhyo vishayebhya shrotrādīni karණāni manasi upasamsritya manasya pratyakshayatayatri ekagratya yati chantanam tat dhyanim. All the sense organs, all the body consciousness should be diverted from sense objects and they should all be taken to the mind. And mind should be taken towards Atma, Ekagrataya, with single focus. That is Dhyanam. So if you are able to do that, you will experience Atma. Tailadharavat santataha avichinna pratyaha dhyanam. Tailadharavat, like the flow of oil from one container to another container, it is a flow, continuous flow. This is the constant example given in Vedanta. So like that, if your dhyana is continuous, without any break, without any disturbance, avichinna pratyaya, you never lose sight of your object. Don't think of anything else. If the mind goes somewhere else, then there is no more dhyana. So if you do that, naturally you will experience Atma. Some people are able to do that. Anye sankhena yogena karma yogena cha pare. Some other people are getting the same experience of Atma through Sankhya Yoga. What is Sankhya Yoga? We have seen before. Neti neti. That is, they don't engage in dhyana. They live like us, like worldly people, but their attitude is different. What is their attitude? Their attitude, whenever they do anything, whenever they see anything, whenever they speak anything, they understand the object which is being spoken about, the object which is being seen, the object which is being heard is not Atma. That much they are convinced. Neti neti. This is not Atma. This is not Atma. I am doing all this for living my mundane life. It is not Atma. So that is Sankhya Yoga. Now again, beautifully, Shankara explains, all this was explained in chapter 2 itself. Sankham nama ime sattvarajastamansi gunaha maya drishyaha. Whatever I am seeing and experiencing or sattvarajavatama gunas, aham tebhya anyah tad vyapara sakshibhutah. I am not them. They are not me. I am different from them. Nityaha gunavilakshanaha atma. I am eternal. I am different, distinct from these gunas. This is my constant thought. Iti chintana. Yeshaha sankhyaha. Using this approach, they also reach the same goal. The third category, karma yoga cha pare. They are not able to go through dhyana. They are not able to go through sankhya yoga, but they are able to go through karma yoga. Even they, karma yoga cha apare. Even they, pashyanti. They also experience same atma. How? By constantly doing karmas with no sense of ownership. I am doing this karma. That sense never prevails in them. And they never look for the fruit of that karma. They submit all the karmas to Bhagavan. Ishwararpana buddhya anushtiyamanam ghatana rupam yogarthatpatu yogaha uchyate gunataha. As if it's the first time Shankara is explaining, look at the compassion. So that is karma yoga. Now, Madhusudana Saraswati, when he explains this shloka, he says, Uttamaha dhyanam, madhyamaha sankhyam, mundaha karma yoga. This is his explanation. Who will go to dhyana, who will go to sankhya, who will go to karma yoga? Uttamaha, great people. They will go to dhyana, it is obvious. Intermediate people, intermediate consciousness, knowledge, they go to sankhya. Mandaha, slow, poor, they will go to Karma Yoga. Karma Yoga itself is associated with Manda Buddhi. Then what about us? We are Adhamadhamaha. He is not saying that. He is leaving it to our understanding. So he says, this is how all these three categories of people approach Atma and they succeed. Pashyanti, they succeed by using these tools. How Karma Yoga will enable you to see Atma? Shankara explains. It is already explained the concept, but he repeats. Satya Siddhi Jnanotpatti Dvare. His mind becomes purer and purer with every day. His mind becomes gets rid of impurity. Sattva Shuddhi Jnanotpatti. Whenever it gets rid of impurity, Jnana is born. Jnana rises in his mind. And that is what is required. So ultimately, Jnana leads him to Atma. एवं वेत्ति पुरुषं प्रकृतिं च गुणैः सह सर्वदा वर्तमानोऽपि न स भूयोऽभिजायते ध्यानेनात्मनि पश्यन्ति केचिदात्मानमात्मना अन्ये सांख्येन योगेन कर्मयोगेन चापरे अन्ये त्वेवमजानन्तः श्रुत्वा अन्येभ्य उपासते केऽपि चापि चरन्त्येव मृत्युं श्रुतिपरायणाः. Now Bhagavan is so compassionate. He knows that there are people like us who are not eligible for any of the three. He doesn't want to disappoint us. He says, you can also come up. What is the method? Anye tvevamajanantaha srutva anyebhya upasate. Anye tu, some others. Evam ajanantaha, not knowing any of these three methods. Not knowing means not being able to practice. Anyebhya shrutva upasate. They hear from others. Others means gurus. They hear from gurus and they start worshipping Bhagavan like an ordinary man. Bhagavan is to be worshipped. Well, I may be a mundane man. Bhagavan is there to help me. Bhagavan is there to redeem me. At least if you are of that thought, तेऽपि चापि तदन्त्येव भक्तिं श्रुतिपरायणाः. श्रुतिपरायणाः. They are constantly attached to the goal which they have heard about. Shruti is what you have heard from your guru. From your guru, he has been constantly telling you, "Arey yaar, don't be engaged in worldly matters. Don't get immersed. Think of Bhagavan." He keeps saying it, and I keep constantly hearing him. Shruti Parayana. That is a qualification which he has put, Bhagavan has put. Shruti Parayanaha. That means my goal is to constantly listen to the Guru. If I am doing that, tepi cha atitaram teva tepi mrityum cha atitaranti eva. Atitaranti means cross. Mrityum, death. They also cross. They api. Even they cross the death. Aticharanti eva. There is an emphasis. He is not leaving any doubt there. Aticharanti eva. They definitely cross. Who definitely crosses? Shruti Parayana. They cross the ocean of death, ocean of samsara. By constantly, upasate is there, even here. Constantly doing upasana of Bhagavan based on what they have been told by the Guru. They are not able to sit in jhana. No, they don't have the capacity. They cannot go on, whenever they are doing any mundane activity, they cannot think, no, this is not Bhagavan, this is not me. That is Sankhya, which is difficult. At least, if they do an action, can they say, yes, this action I am not doing, somebody else is doing, Bhagavan is doing, and that fruit belongs to him. Fruit belongs to doer. Fruit does not belong to me, the instrument. So this is Karma Yoga. He is not able to do that. He wants the fruit. He desires the fruit. So this is the problem. So this problem also can be overcome if, okay, I will enjoy the fruit, but at the same time, I want to reach Bhagavan. That is my desire to reach Bhagavan is very intense. Upasate, Shruti Parayanaha, two words are there to qualify. Anyebhya acharyebhya shrutva, having listened from Acharya. Idam evam chintayata. Think only of this. That is what Guru has told him. How nicely Shankara puts it is. Idam evam chintayata. Think of Bhagavan in this manner. Evam, in this manner. Upasate shraddhadanaha santaha chintayanti. With all faith. Faith is important. With all faith, they worship Bhagavan. Shravanam param ayanam gamanam moksham marga pravritto param sadhanam yesham te shruti parayanaha. When they listen to the Guru and they keep remembering that, they know that is the only way to reach the goal of attaining Bhagavan. That is what Shruti Parayana, Param Ayanam, ultimate goal. केवल परोपदेश प्रमाणाः स्वयं विवेकरहिताः इति अभिप्रायः. Their only authority is what they have heard from somebody else, from the Guru. Kevalam Paropadesha Pramanaha. That is the only authority they have. They have no experience. Swayam Viveka Rahitaha. They don't have any discrimination, any Viveka. Even then, Kimu Vaktavyam Pramanam Prati Swatantraha Vivekanaha Mrityum Adikramanti. Having said this, what is the necessity to say that those who have Viveka will also cross Mrityu? There is no need to say that. Mrityuyuktam samsaram iti etat. Mrityum atitaranti means Mrityuyuktam samsaram atitaranti. Samsara, which is marked by Mrityu, by death, they will cross that. Muktoham iti bhavayet. परमकारुणिकेभ्यः आचार्येभ्यः श्रुत्वा ब्रह्मैवाहं नमो संसारी मुक्तोऽहम् इति भावयेत्. अशक्नुवन् भावयितुं वाक्यमेतद् उदीरयेत्. Brahmanandagiri nicely explains this. Having listened from Acharya, I am Brahman, I am not a samsari, I am already mukta. And like that you have to keep imagining. If you cannot do that, at least keep saying, he says, vakyam udiri, at least keep saying. You cannot imagine, you cannot assume that you are a mukta, a liberated soul. Say that. I am Atma, I am not this body. I have heard it from my Guru. Keep saying that. That also will lead to the ultimate goal. There is a story from Upanishad, from Chandogya Upanishad, of a Shishya. His name is Satyakama Jabala. And he was the Shishya of a Guru called Gautama Rishi. Now, sometimes the Gurus treat the Chelas in a very, very different manner. That is what happened in this case also. He did not teach him the ultimate jnana. He might have taught him Veda, etc., but ultimate jnana he did not teach him. So one day what he did, this Gautama Rishi, he called Satyakama Jabala and he gave him 400 emaciated cows. Emaciated cows, cows which are about to die, very weak, 400 of them. He said, you take them away, go wherever you want, forest or anywhere. You come back only when these 400 cows become 1,000 good cows. Look at the condition. 400 cows, which are emaciated, should become 1,000 good cows, then you come back. So we are nowadays encouraging questioning attitude. I have already mentioned that we cannot question everything. Everything cannot be questioned. We cannot understand everything. Now, if we were in the position of Satyakama Jabala, we would have asked the Guru, confronted the Guru, what is this nonsense? Why should I do that? Why, how will it lead me to jnana? This is, isn't it? Satyakama Jabala did nothing of that sort. He went with 400 cows. He spent, we don't know how many years. He spent many years. And in the process, because he did this with full faith in what Guru said, with full faith. Shraddha Shankara said, no? So he received Jnanopadesham from whom? From animals, from a bull. Bull gave him Jnanopadesha, first part of the Jnana. The second part of the Jnana was given by, what is the first part, what is the second part, etc., are being detailed in the Upanishad. We need not go into that. Second part of the Jnana was given by Agni. Third part of the Jnana was given by Swan, Hamsa Pakshi. Then fourth part of the Jnana was given by another bird. Like the 4 parts of the Jnana. Everything is supposed to have 4 parts in Upanishad, if you see. 4 quarters. So 4 quarters of the Jnana, that means he got all the Jnana. And by that time, these 400 cows have turned into 1,000 cows. So he got Jnana. He also fulfilled the condition. Then he returned to the Guru. The Guru saw all the 1,000 cows. Not only that is not a great thing. What he saw was the Brahma Tejas in the face of the Shishya. He could not believe. He asked him, what happened? That on seeing the Brahma Tejas. Then Satyakama Jabala recounted all that happened. Then Satyakama Jabala, see, this is the Upanishad conclusion. In all such stories, there is a conclusion. Satyakama Jabala never said, yes, I have got all my Brahma Jnana without your help. He didn't say that. He said, yes, because of your grace, I got this jnana from these four agencies, but this jnana can never be complete unless I get it from you, Guru. Jnana which is obtained from a Guru is ultimate. So whatever I have got from these sources may be jnana, but that is incomplete. So please teach me the jnana. That was the humility. And then, of course, Gautama Rishi taught him jnana, and he became a jnani. That is how Guru Parampara has been maintained, Rishi Parampara has been maintained in our country. So this shows that Shruti-Parayanaha, see, he was having full faith in what the Acharya said, and he came to moksha. Anye tvevamajanantaha sritva anyebhya upasate tepi chaditarantev vrityam Shruti-Parayanaha. We have already exceeded the time. We will stop now. We will meet tomorrow morning, 7 AM IST. Any questions?
Those who have questions, please unmute yourself, turn on your video and ask questions. Any questions, anybody?
Shri Guru Mama. So my question is regarding dhyana you mentioned. So in last couple of chapters, I think we mentioned also dhyana there. So you mentioned there are two ways you can do dhyana. There is a form you can think of, and there is a formless, nirguna tattva. So the question is, so I want to do the dhyana with mantra japa. So is it, when you say nirguna dhyana, so do you also look at the mantra letters while doing the dhyana?
There are many theories, but all of them are saying one thing. Whatever you do it sincerely. If you are not able to visualize the mantra on the screen of your mind, no problem. As long as you chant the mantra with the goal is important. With the goal that you should reach Bhagavan, that is equally efficacious. There is no doubt about it. So let us not go into all these minor discrepancies. No need. Let us be sincere in our effort. That is what Gita is teaching us.
Shri Guru.
Any other questions?
Any other questions? No other questions, Guruji.
No other questions. Okay, we close for the day. We meet again tomorrow, 7 AM IST. Namah Parvati Pataye Hara Hara Mahadeva Sarvatra Govinda Nama Sankirtanam Govinda Govinda Sri Raja Rajeshwarya Jaya Jaya.